is not many, but is 2 years. 2 years. And again, I think it has to do with the freshness of it. So we have to, again, past, present, future. In our present, we have to, Lord, if you have to take me back to that moment and make it new again, where you took me out of darkness. Here, let me show you in verse 10 what they did. I'm in Luke here. And Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid. From now on you will catch men." So they pulled their boats up on shore and they left everything and followed him. Y'all, you might have to leave some stuff to go. If you get a revelation of the fish gate, you'll leave some stuff behind. Because there's all kinds of things that will distract you and try to prevent you from utilizing the fish gate, going through the fish gate. And it can be entertainment, it can be just distractions of doing other things, and we can even use those other good things to justify never going through the fish gate. And I want us to not do that, y'all. It is, let me say it again, the first gate after the sheep gate, as revealed in Nehemiah chapter 3, is the fish gate. The first gate after the sheep gate, as revealed in Nehemiah 3, is the fish gate. It needs to be priority. It needs to be priority. You've heard me say this so many times, and we just know this, that signs and wonders follow. A lot of the reason the church doesn't see signs and wonders anymore is because we ain't going. If we want to see God move in our lives, and you know what that does? And it becomes a big cycle. It becomes this beautiful big cycle. You go out the fish gate, you're obedient, you love Him, and all of a sudden He starts performing signs, miracles, and wonders through you. Because signs and wonders are following you. Your prayers are getting answered. Fish are coming in. Woo! And then what's that do? That makes everything fresh and new. Because now I got a fresh story that God just answered this prayer for this one that was going through it. And you wouldn't believe the food was full. The car was full of food, and we had to sit next to each other on top of each other's lap almost. People wouldn't understand it, but my God answered prayer.
Amen.
Come on. And see, that is something new and fresh. And it's revelation that you can take with you the next time you go out the fish gate. In fact, you'll want to go out the fish gate again because you saw God move.
Amen.
See, and it's a cycle that begins turning in your life. It's a cycle of blessing. Glory, glory, glory. So the fish gate, the fish gate, the fish gate. So after the sheep gate, the fish gate. Turn to John chapter 4. Let me look at the time. Okay, somebody's tricking me. No, wait. No. What time is it? Quarter. Well, somebody's tricking me because this clock up here says 2:45. So either the one has gone out. It's 2:47. Either the one has gone out, or somebody's is in the fish gate.
There's a lion gate.
Okay, let me finish. Oh, God. So, I was going to take you to John chapter 4, verse 39. That is the Samaritan woman. You know what she did immediately after the lights came on? After the revelation? She went to her hometown. And says many of the Samaritans from the town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. How many of you got a testimony?
Amen.
Amen. And so as soon as the lights come on, y'all, she had a testimony. And she went and she told them, And then I was going to take you to Mark chapter 5. Mark chapter 5 is the demoniac. And Jesus says, go home, tell your family, tell them how much the Lord has done for you. Y'all, upon getting saved, you've got a testimony. Amen. Upon getting saved, you can have the power to be a witness. You've got a story to tell. You've got a story to tell. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Miss B. The sons, here, let me say this. I'm going to finish with this. Those who rebuilt the fish gate were sons. There were sons. Now, it's interesting. You look through, and it's brothers and sons that are always working together collaboratively to rebuild these gates. The sons of God, sons of the Most High, we need to re-look at the fish gate in our lives. And it's the sons of, what's his name? His name is Hassaneah. His name means thorny. So they're the sons of Thorny, rebuilding the gate. They're the sons of Thorny building the gate. I'm going to finish with this, because this is where much of the church finds itself. Okay? And we may have started off, woo, yay, I'm saved. Let me tell you about it. And in fact, sometimes I think that zealousness in the church, that zeal and fervor and passion, and it's actually stifled by the church. Let me say it again. Mm-hmm. The zeal, the passion, the look what God's done. Well, not right now. This is not appropriate. You need to calm that down a little bit. You need to, and the church almost puts out the Spirit's flame. And so here, let me show you a picture, okay? So this wall, this fish gate is being built by the sons, rebuilt by the sons of Thorny, okay? In Luke chapter 8, verse 14, we find that there is seed, the Word of God, that fell among the thorns. And it stands for those who hear. And they hear it first, and many, they receive it with joy. But as they go, it says, as they go on their way. So they may have gone out through some other gates. Jesus is standing at the fish gate saying, come, follow me. And they want to go through the fountain gate. And I just need to be filled before I can go out the fish gate. I need to be filled again and again and again and again and again. I don't know why I like it at the fountain gate. But you've never gone fishing. And so the seed that fell among the thorns stands for those that hear, but as they go their way, they're choked by life's worries, riches. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm Asher. I'm blessed. I'm Gad. Got good fortune, riches. I don't have. Where is it? I'll go ahead. I really don't have Jerusalem like I think I do, because they don't have peace, they're worried. So the seed that fell among the thorns stands for those that hear. They've got the word, go. But as they go on their way, they're choked by life's worries, riches, and pleasures, and they do not mature, it says. They do not mature. We know about the seed that falls on the good ground. That produces fruit. Of course, it's fruit of the Spirit, but y'all, one of the things that I believe that fruit is a fruit of obedience. There's a fruit of that I'll go where you call me to go. I'll do what you call me to do. And so for us, y'all, we need to get a revelation of the fish gate, and we need to love Jesus so much. And yes, we need to be filled. We need water. We need these things. We need to be powerful. We need the power. But it's the power to witness. It's the power to witness. I cannot go about kingdom living neglecting that I've been called to be a fisher of men. You cannot. So Lord, give us that revelation, and I'm going to go ahead and have Miss Faith come and share something that she has found and the Lord's put on her heart that we can all do to help us. And I was going to give you some steps in implementing this. Here is a way that we can implement this. So Miss Faith, come on up and share what the Lord has given you. And y'all, this is cool. This is cool. And I'm gonna preface right now so I can give you the mic the whole time. With whatever Miss Faith tells you on what your testimony should look like, I encourage you to keep it. So I think the thing tells you to make it so long. I encourage you, y'all, it doesn't have to be an in-depth, verbose testimony. It can be something simple, bullet points. People read bullet points.
When he reminded me of that, I told him, I said, I'm not sure if they're going to believe that from you and I.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest talkers.
Talk all the time. But make it short and simple.
When I was in the hospital in June, I had a lot of time to think and talk to myself, and the Lord showed me something. And I'm going to tell you something that I don't talk about very often. There's no need to. Okay, there's no need to talk about this. But I'm going to use it because it's the example that he helped me with. Is that I was very much always doing things for the Lord and trying to help people. But I can't tell you that I remember bringing anybody to the Lord before I was 30 years old. When I opened the salon, there was a shift in my life, and a venue offered itself for me to begin to work to people. And I don't say this braggadociously because I don't think I actually did it, but I was the glove. I was the voice. I led way under more than 1,000 people to the Lord in a few year period of time. How can I say that number? Because when I opened my mouth, he used my voice, and he brought those people to me, and I have all their names. Okay? But then the venue changed, and I started working with people, and I don't know what that number is. I know that it was close to that same number, but I don't know because I wasn't allowed to keep the names. What the Lord showed me, though, and please, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to tell you this. I'm the manicurist. I am the lowest person on the totem pole in the organization that I work with. Me and the janitor, we're the ones who clean feet, the commode, the fingernails, okay? And so if God can use me, he can use anybody. So don't think I'm bragging about that. That was God's doing. But he showed me in the hospital that apparently if the venue must have changed a little bit, or I changed, because I've not led that many people to the Lord in the last 10 years. I've helped a lot of people get what they've got in them to a better understanding. And I have been sent to people's houses because they were dying. Even Douglas come home one day and said, "You're going to go see so-and-so. I think they're going to see the Lord." And I went to see that person. And I can tell you that God will do that for you sometimes. But that number dramatically is less than if you just go fishing. And you know, we kind of go fishing, and even if Douglas and I haven't been in a long time, but if we go fishing, we have a good time, even if we don't catch no fish. We always did. But we catch fish. And so while I was there, I had my phone, and that's like a little mini computer. That always fascinates me. And I had my phone, and I was just Googling stuff. And I came across this. "Doug, would you help hand this out? You were paying one preacher or somebody.
Yep.
Give everybody one." Make this. I got it right. There you go. And it's called My Story. And I have found that, you know, sometimes I make the assumption that everybody I know is saved. But you know what they say about making assumptions? If you break that word down, it comes out to an ass you made of me. So don't make the assumption that everybody you know is saved. And so the other day I just handed one to somebody that I said, you know, this may or may not help you, but if it doesn't, you pass it on because you know somebody that it will help. All right? And so sometimes we need, you know, like when people come to work at the salon, the hardest thing to do, teach them is prospecting. I call it fishing, prospecting. We make up these little bags with 2 or 3 samples in them. We put their business cards in them. And I tell them, now when you go to the store, when you go to the convenience store, wherever you're going during the day, you got to have these in your pocket. And when somebody just makes eye contact, you say, "Hey, you know, can I give you this bag of samples and some of my little treasures?" And I mean, who doesn't want a bag of samples? If you don't believe me, just lay it there. On the internet, everybody's got these programs where you just click and add your email to get samples. Why do you give samples? Because if they get a sample and get a taste of what you got, they may want to buy more. And so sampling is one of the best ways to build your product brand, to build your product image, your recognition. This is a sample. That's what this is a sample. All right? And if you open it, My Story, then it's just going to tell you that somebody shared this message with me and it changed my life. Here's my story. If you flip it open, some of you've got my long 2,500 character version, and some of you may have the short version. Okay? After we discussed making it shorter, the 2 mouths of the talk, I won't say the south, but some of you got the shorter one, some of you got the longer one. Okay, I went back. So I'm here to tell you that you can't edit it. There's some more here that you didn't get the short one. You can edit it.
He wants the long one.
It wants the long one.
Yes, he does.
And this is my story. Okay? It's my story. My story is my brand. But Jesus is my product. And so if I just walk up to you and say, "Hi, are you okay today? I have a little something here I'd like to give you," and I will give it to them. It's just a door, a way to open a door for you to people. I told y'all one time I was at the drugstore right down here. When I went to get out of the car, the woman sitting in the next car, it was hot, the windows were down in her car, and she was trying to keep from crying and had tears in her eyes. And I'm like a lot of people. I said, "Okay, Lord, if she's still there when I come out of the grocery store, I'll speak to her." When I came out, she was still there. She was still crying. I opened the door, put my stuff in the car, and I turned back around and I said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" "No, I'm not. I am really, really sick. And all these prescriptions, I don't have enough money to get all this done." And so we talked for just a little bit and I prayed with her. Okay? Then her husband shows up and he said, "Okay, I got the money." Okay, so you don't know about all the stuff that people go into, but that few little minutes there, just to speak to them. Now you think, "Well, I just talk all the time. I never get nervous." I don't. Please, that's not so. I make myself be forward. I'm normally just stay to myself, mind my own business. I know that some of y'all think, "I don't believe that."
I don't believe that.
But if I had my way, I'd just be on my porch in my house and I'd just be reclusive, I reckon. But if you do this is your testimony. And so when you open it up though, Look on the back of it. I mean, you don't even have to be able to read. You do not have to be able to read. You can look at the pictures and figure out that this is the plan of salvation. This is showing you that at the very end, Jesus is a bridge between your past and his future. It's very colorful. And so I printed these out. I typed it out at home. Then I took it to the salon. And on the printing equipment from AIM, which 9/10 is the law, possession is 9/10 of the law. So now I consider them mine. And because they've been there for a while. And so I use them. So I printed these out. Well, then there's, you have to fold them. They got to be folded in half, then half again, and then half again. And so in your handout, your paperwork tells you the steps to writing your testimony. And then there's a few testimonies that I gave you as an example. This is a free website, Grace Church. They have lots of churches in the United States. This one is off the home church's website, which I think is in Colorado. So I don't have to print them for you. I mean, you can do it yourself. But what I wanted to offer to you was that if you would like to begin to witness to a few more people. Now, I'm not talking about going out Walmart sticking them under everybody's windshield wiper. That's not what I'm talking about. Because if we put them under the windshield wiper, they just pick them up and throw them in trash. I would. I want you to have that opportunity. There's a concept in psychology today that's taught. It's called mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It is paying attention to the moment. Paying attention to who you are, where you are, and what's going on in that moment. And so sometimes we have to practice mindfulness to hear God. Because he's constantly talking to us, but we're already into what we're going to do when we get to work, or we're still back there trying to figure out why we didn't do so-and-so at the house before then. We're not mindful of where we are and in the moment. And if we get to be mindful and we're trying to decide, God is just incredibly awesome in that we think only certain people hear him. He usually will let us have a thought. Much of our conversation with God is a thought. I'm pulling up to the stop sign. The first thought in my mind, why don't you go to the right today and go out Curry Road that way? Or why don't you go to the left and go down to 49? Or whatever. That's a thought. There's something about that I'm supposed to see or do. And sometimes it's amazing what you'll find out if you just be mindful of the moment that you're in and where you are. You come by, you're going into Walmart. We always use Walmart. It's like a mall here. And so there's a few beaches outside and there are people sitting there. Have you ever thought about, wonder what they're going through? Why are they sitting there? On their break? Are they out of breath and can't get to their car? They got this whole bag of groceries. Is somebody going to help them get them to the car? Somebody going to pull the car up here for them or something? Sometimes I get out of the car. Mr. What's his name? I forgot his name, but he was lost. He's trying to get somebody else's car. And so it's amazing how if we can just be mindful and pay attention, and God will help us with that. Because there's no accidents. There's no happenstance. You might not know how every piece of the puzzle fits together, but I'm here to tell you, Douglas puts together puzzles. And some of them have a sea of blue in them or a sea of black. And you're thinking, what fits there? But everything fits, and it has a place. And so if God shows you somebody or shows you something about somebody, it fits. It fits in his puzzle. It's not your puzzle, it's his puzzle. And so then if you have an opportunity, this is just a suggestion. I made mine. And mine was for me to give out. But if you would do your testimony, then the editing program, we can help you get it where it has to fit in that space. Is why they said 2,500 characters. I thought it was 2,500 words, and I thought, oh God, I can tell them everything. I did, that's pretty hard. But if we get it to fit into that space, well, I figured it up to print it on that 24 to 28 pound glossy paper. I can do it for you, and I can print you 25, and if you want to give them out. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not to where right now I can print them for you for free. But let me tell you, even if I could, why I might hesitate, I might, I'm not saying I would, but I might, is that people pay attention to what they're vested into. If you pay $7 for 25 of these little things, then you're not just going to go take them and throw them in the trash. You might if it was 70 cents. But if you pay $7, $6, $7, you'll pay attention to it. And you may be more likely to care for it and give it out. Now, if that offends you, then allow me to say right now, please forgive me. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm trying to tell you that I think it's good for us sometimes to have to pay a little bit for something so something means something to them. You take the time to write your testimony, we'll help you get it on there, or you can do it yourself, whatever pleases you, and I'll print it for you. Now, these things are something to fold, so I will let you fold your own. I stood there the other day between everybody, folded these things. The ruler's a big helper. But, you know, none of you have given me any physical signals here as to how you feel about this. You may have to think about it. But I think each of you have a testimony that's probably very interesting. They have one on the website that's specifically for teenagers. They have one that is wonderful to give at Christmas because it talks about the gift. You know, it's just the front, this portion of it. You're still doing your testimony, and it's still the witnessing on the back, the gospel, but it's the way it's printed up in the front is it makes it nice. Now you're saying, well, you know, you probably were just having too much medicine that day. Well, that's fine. That's your truth. This is mine. Okay? But I would love to see you have that, and then we have just an opportunity each Sunday. My story. What's your story this week? How many people did you interact with for Christ? What's your story this week? Did you have anybody that maybe you actually didn't just hand them this and walk off, but you got to pray with them? What's your story this week? Did you get to lead somebody to the Lord? It is a little bit of a prod, but it's something that, it would be nice if we were able to bring more people to the Lord. It doesn't mean they're going to come to church here. Some of them might. If you notice on mine and you have the option to do it, it says, let's see, on the very back, I would be happy to pray for you or answer any questions that you might have. You can email me. I did not put my phone number. I put my email address, but you don't have to do that. You may say, well, golly, I don't think I know enough. Well, don't put my email. Then you put yours. You don't have to put anything there. You don't have to put anything. That I can leave off, but so that you would have, I don't mind. I don't mind because I figure if they call me, they must want to know something. Do all of them call me and I help them get it right and then they stay right for God or stay right with their life? Please, no. No. But I'm not in charge of that. I'm only in charge of sowing.